It's your responsibility if you really want to think that about God. It's optional to believe penalty substitution as much as it's not in the Bible. The Bible tells us what Jesus did. Penalty substitution adds a how. Again, it's obvious that Jesus paid his blood to release us, but it's up to us to choose whether we'll think of his atonement as a penalty substitution or not. It's your responsibility to choose whether you'll attribute penalty substitution to God, only as much as it's not in his book. He's too pure to pay. He bore our sins away. His death prevents penalty substitution. His love for you isn't fueled by hate, but it's your choice to add penalty substitution and its consequences. He doesn't have to hate you enough to love you. Out of a love for God, you could put away penalty substitution. What's required is for you to believe biblical statements. What's optional is the interpretive frameworks. We have biblical content versus theoretical framework here. The biblical content is that Jesus paid his blood. This achieved our release, but penalty substitution theory adds explanatory mechanism, how it goes beyond explicit Bible statements. So it's your personal choice. It's your individual responsibility, your responsibility. It's up to you to choose. It's optional in nature. You're responsible for being honest. We must believe what the Bible explicitly states. We may believe an additional explanatory framework. It's your personal choice to adopt penalty substitution. Penalty substitution is not required. One can accept the atonement without accepting penalty substitution. So if you see it as bad, you can leave. God wouldn't pay for sin because he hates it. So he removes it. If it's removed, he doesn't pay for it. The problem of evil is by human free will. God isn't the one who sins. God, who's only gracious, would make a law after his own character. Paying oneself is excess, and there's no excess in God. The law has exceptions, but the Spirit is immutable. The law isn't always right. The Spirit never pretends. A fake decree can only happen in the physical realm. Why? Because we can't see the spiritual realm in order to understand good or bad. Our physical minds can't understand a fake decree. We got to trust. It's in the spiritual realm. That's not something we could attribute to there. We know that there's a devil, but that's special revelation. So we can blindly manipulate God's law in this world, for example, killing Jesus or else making lightning rods. In this ungodly realm, Jesus could be killed. The spiritual law made room for that, out of love for us, allowing death and blindness for us to depend on Christ. We're mixed up in this realm in order to let God save us. If things were straight, we'd be in hell. Physical things aren't bad. It's bad when you are against God. Physical limits keep us from sharing the devil's doom. The curse is a way to get us saved. It not only keeps us, but points us to Christ and has him die. The curse is sent by the law. Death is the humblest thing he could do, not hell. Hell is punishment. Sins must be released. He doesn't want that. He died to get rid of that, to cut off the penalty substitution, so to speak. Sins in themselves aren't against God. It's the people that do it. But we're cut off from the hope of salvation. That's why God keeps the world going. Nature tells us there's hope, and if there's hope, then there's an end. When the person is doing sin, Christ bears our sins without doing them. So that which is worthy of hell is as an accident that he didn't intend. God wouldn't count an accident. He's not dumb. We have the ignorance is bliss excuse, but not unbelievers. We're not a monster of grace to use that as a license to sin. Obviously, otherwise, we're without hope.